My name is Julie Connelly, the CEO and co-founder of AI MapIt. We create digital twins of roadside infrastructure for telecoms and utility operators and other road management agencies. AI MapIt is an AI-powered mapping platform. We create digital twins of infrastructure networks for telecoms and utility operators using street-level imagery. We extract GIS information from the street-level imagery, and each record then has a location element associated with the object or asset of interest. So the original objective of the research was to find a way of keeping network inventory up to date, bearing in mind that telecoms and utility networks are distributed over large geographical areas. So in Ireland, we have 100,000 kilometres of road, almost 2 million electricity poles, and a similar number of telecoms poles. In the UK, it's close to 500,000 kilometres of road, and in the US, it's 6 million kilometres, with approximately 180 million joint use utility poles distributed over the road network. The maintenance and planning of these networks is currently done with a combination of manual and desktop surveys. The CTO of ERIC came to the Adapt Research Centre with a research question around how to get the most up-to-date inventory of the network in as short a time as possible. And with manual methods, the poles in the network are usually tested about once a year, and that wasn't quick enough. They needed the most up-to-date. So 15% of the network changes every year. So at any given point, 15% of records are going to be out of date. And computer vision is a way of rapidly and cost-effectively gathering information from the as-is network with street view imagery. For telecoms operators, improved efficiency in planning and network design is one of the main impacts of this technology. Most mobile operators around Europe are phasing out their 3G equipment and replacing them with 5G. And for fixed network operators, they're deploying fibre to the home and fibre to the curb. The ability to do this automatically and quickly and keep an up-to-date record of networks is really important, especially as the new Gigabit Infrastructure Act comes into play in November of 2025. And that is really to stimulate and facilitate the deployment of very high capacity networks around Europe. And in order to do that, everybody who has infrastructure needs to work together to make sure that new fibre to the home or fibre to the curb and 5G equipment can be deployed in the most efficient and cost-effective way. We're currently designing a platform for automated surveys across a number of different asset types to enable operators to establish up-to-date digital records of their networks. Once that's in place, we can start to implement condition monitoring of the infrastructure and raise alarms and create exception reports for operators so that they can efficiently coordinate when assets need maintenance. We're currently working on building out our portfolio of assets. So we moved on from telegraph poles to other types of roadside infrastructure, including streetlights, storm drains, traffic signs, road network signage. And once we have a portfolio of assets and have deployed that to do surveys for operators around Europe and globally, the next step would be to do condition monitoring, so use image processing to compare the previous captured imagery of the assets to the most up-to-date and to do a comparative analysis and create some exception reports where operators need to be notified that the infrastructure needs maintenance.